Electric Callboy have returned with a brand new single, and it's called Tanzneid, I think. My GCSE German was quite a long time ago at this point. I have been a fan of Electric Callboy for a while, basically since they had this kind of like slightly newer lineup where they brought Nico in. I got suckered in by the thumbnail, I think, for We Got the Moves, which I'm not gonna lie, I still think remains my favorite Electric Callboy song, but there have been quite a few bangers since. I just really love the combination of the like super heavy stuff mixed in with, you know, I guess you could definitely argue there's some techno influences there. I guess the German part of their style kind of bleeds through there, but with their like really anthemic, very poppy choruses, but they're usually really well executed. Just every part of it is great. The riffs are always heavy and entertaining, and they have a kind of like twinkle in their eye that you just got to applaud. I really like Electric Callboy just as an entity. In fact, I've seen them a couple of years ago and they were really great. And it's one of those fun bands where, because the music videos are so bombastic and there's so many variations in their clothing, and the audience had a fantastic time dressing up. There were people who were dressed up from, we got the, you know, all the ball cuts where we got the moves. There's loads of people with the hyper like tracksuits and stuff. We've got spacemen running around, and of course the techno train, the cho, which is possibly the greatest music moment of the last couple of years. I will say, I don't think that everything they release is perfect. I feel like sometimes they take themselves like a little bit too seriously, and I like that stuff less. It's usually, from a musical perspective at least, objectively still pretty good. It's just, I don't know, Reverie I think was the last one I properly like dove into, and it didn't do much for me, if I'm honest. Ratatata, the collaboration with Baby Metal, was awesome. Elevator Operator was not my favorite one, but it was a fun music video, etc, etc. But anyway, the quote I have for it is, with Tanzneid, we wanted to capture that wild tension between heavy energy and pure dance floor madness, turning our music into a party where everyone belongs, playful, catchy, and powerful. That's Tanzneid. And I believe actually this is going to kickstart the Tanzneid World Tour this year and next. To be honest, that description could apply to quite a lot of their music, but that's not the point. But anyway, without any further ado, let's jump in and listen to Tanzneid and see whether or not they can get my little hips to dance along as they expect. I will admit, they are like pretty versatile looking guys as well. You slap a couple of fake moustaches around and they look like totally different people. And I always appreciate the like retro vibe of the way that this kind of stuff is filmed. I'm sure it's just a couple, like, you know, a film grain filter or something like that, but I like it. It's got a kind of gloriously lo-fi kind of practical feel to it. And also the height difference will never not make me laugh. Okay, immediately, really like the energy on this one. That kind of like Loki, it makes you want to do this with your neck. Which I guess is kind of the point. But no, I quite like that. It's kind of like, I like it. I much prefer, I think, when they start with the kind of softer stuff. Occasionally they'll like vocally immediately go in with the heavy screamo stuff, and I think that they work nicer in an arc where they build up. So yeah, no, this is fun. It's got that cheeky chappy kind of feel to it. The costumes are absolutely outrageous, as I expected. They're like aliens with their brains and stuff like that. I don't know, it's this wonderful mixture of like super low budget mixed like quite high budget. I don't know, it makes it feel like the low budget stuff is a creative choice. I swear that's a lyric as well in We Got the Moves, everybody's getting down. Okay, I quite like the way that this sort of chorus riff has gone into like two sections as well. You kind of have this slightly more popular like, na 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 na, and my fucking light just turned off. 1 second. So I quite like how the first half of that chorus, actually I don't know if it's the chorus, maybe this is the pre-chorus, but they're kind of like slightly more legato, na 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 na, and then we're going to move into the second half of it that's like faster again. And the drums are kind of like gone from being half time to double time. It's just a really nice way to kind of keep everyone engaged. Like, don't have the longer format stuff last too long, to keep that like incessant just dong 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 techno beat to it. It's fun. It's well executed. This is so far at least everything I like about Electric Callboy kind of like rolled into one and done well. Okay, I like the chorus as well. I like how it's actually more based on the guitar riff than anything else. It's got this dung 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 dung, and the deadpan delivery of these parts where they're dancing, the little shuffle like that. I mean, this makes me want to see it live because I can just imagine a crowd of like 3,000 people all standing there doing this really awkward like deadpan shuffle. That tickles me. Okay, again, the transition into the two different verses, the way that they're able to make those two styles really meld together it's really part of the special sauce that makes Electric Callboy great, if you ask me. The way that they got that second verse that came in, and again, it's very like deadpan, it's very treble heavy, and then you start to blend in a few more kind of back and forth vocals going on there, and then you end up going into the really, really heavy section as well with the rah, 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 rah. It works really nicely. The contrast, it could be alienating, no pun intended, if it wasn't done well, but it's done really well. The production's also like super tight. It definitely helps. This gimmick where people keep on like trying to get close to women and then they just turn out to be these guys is really funny. Oh, okay. We are getting a proper fucking techno moment there where everything drops out. This is really, really nightclubby. I can actually see that quote being kind of accurate now that it's a combination of like proper techno dance floor stuff mixed in with like kind of more heavy metal-y things. I mean, to be fair, it worked really nicely as a bridge. This song was just about, I think, done with the material that we'd already heard, so it's definitely well placed. That dance is great. Ooh. Man, that use of space there was great. It's not the first time they've done it, but again, he has I like the tone of his scream too. It's like kind of like not too crazy, but like it's definitely got this really like yeah, and when it's in the contrast of the other stuff, especially as a way of transitioning out of this very treble techno-y section, it's lovely. But that little and that pure moment of silence in between there before you move into the next stuff, so effective. I really like that. Okay. Taking a page out of Oliver Tree's book with the oversized instruments there. I will say also the way that Nico transitioned out of this section into that by kind of everything drops out and you get the kind of vocal hook from the melody of the chorus come in there and then everything kind of expands out again. I will say that is somewhat typical of Electric Callboy's formula. They have definitely figured out a recipe to how they kind of like pass between them and the structural stuff, which admittedly, if it's not broke, then don't fix it. But every now and then, I don't know, I feel like maybe a little bit more variation is a good idea, but you know, it's executed well, it's a lot of fun, the chorus is catchy, so who am I to complain, really? Yeah, okay, the ending was nice. The like final scream, and then especially like timed with the visuals of the dance, were like, I think that the vocals with the screaming were really, really well executed for that one in particular. I love the way that they seem to be very like simpatico with the drums. Everything was just on the same level with that. Very, very rhythmic, which is nice. In fact, the whole song was actually just really, really rhythmic, which I guess definitely brings in that kind of like more German techno stuff, which is definitely very present in here. It's present through a lot of Electric Callboy's material, but I think this one, I mean, on purpose, I imagine, has, you know, really, really taken that and run with it as its kind of core theme. But I will say, I thought the chorus is very catchy, the vocal performances are, as ever, really, really good, the production was excellent, whether they were able to pass between those segments, whilst I'm starting to feel like the format of an Electric Callboy song is something one could work out on a calculator at this point. It is done very well. The way they transition in between those shouty sections, the breakdowns, the kind of like more instrumental choruses in this one, they're all really, really well executed. Everyone's very good at their instruments. I mean, no one's going crazy in the band in terms of I guess, like, there's no crazy guitar solos or anything like that. I'm pretty sure if you put your guitar in drop D and a good up picking, you can probably get most of the chords on there going, you know, I imagine it's not massively complicated by metal music standards, but I feel like the fact that it's somewhat genre blendy kind of makes that way, way more forgivable. I mean, God, not every song needs to be played by 5 savants, you know? They found a format. It's really interesting to see their rise in fame as well. Like, I know that they have been going for quite a lot longer than I've been aware of them, right? I think I'm gonna get this wrong now, but their previous like singer character was called Ghost Kid, I think, maybe. I'm gonna have to look that up. Oh, okay, no, I was almost there. So Ghost Kid is the new project of the former lead singer, who was actually just known as Sushi. Fair enough. Back in the racist days when they were called Callboy, which is a not okay word to say now, so maybe I should bleep that. It's interesting to see them like absolutely explode off that kind of like hyper stuff, and you know what, they seem like really nice guys. Their stage presence was great when I saw them. It encourages a kind of like wholesome community. I'm here for it. I think I might try and nab some tickets if they're not outrageously expensive and still on sale, because I promise you now, if you get an opportunity to see them live, you absolutely should. Yeah, cool, great, I enjoyed that a lot. Looking forward to seeing whether or not this must be the beginning of an album cycle as well, even though if they are touring at the moment, then they're definitely finished recording and if they're going to release in the near future. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Like, share, subscribe, all of that crazy stuff. Let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think of this one? Do you think that maybe Electric Callboy is starting to get just a touch too formulaic? They're starting to fulfill their own prophecy a little bit? Or do you think that they're just reinventing the wheel every time and every song is a banger? I sit somewhere in between those opinions, but let me know. Thank you again. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace!